Well, hello and welcome. Today we've got a Weller soldering iron to have a look at. This one is refusing to get hot. So it's kind of interesting because it's got this plug-in thing here that sets the temperature. I'm guessing there's some sort of resistor or something on it. My suspicion is that the temperature probe has failed in here, as they have a habit of doing. But let's plug it in and have a bit of a look. Right, let's just see if there's any heat in it at all. Now, in all honesty, if this was working by now, I wouldn't be holding that. So we've definitely got no heat coming from the iron. Let's start by having a look in the base. Now, as previously worked out, to get into the base we've got to get these little rubber bungs out. Cover off. Look at that, someone's been in here. So we've got a control circuit here. So what I'm going to start off by doing is I'm going to do the old adage of check the obvious, and that is, do we have power output from the transformer? Okay, let's just go there and there. That doesn't seem right, does it? Okay, there's 9 volts to there. 26 volts to there. So unplug this bit of electronics. 26 volts. Okay. So that is suggesting that the power supply works. Now, I'm kind of looking at this and thinking to myself, so rather than a potentiometer that is what I'm going to guess is a preset resistor. Now, what I'm actually going to do with this, because I already pretty much know that the sensor has gone in the iron, what we're going to do is we're going to put the output of the transformer directly to the terminals, and then we're going to fit a Weller magnistat iron on the end of the cable. We'll take this board out and put it to one side. Let's take this apart. See if we can use this housing or whether I've got to change the housing. Either way, I'm not concerned. And before I go total nutter, definite. I just want to make sure that there's nothing going on in here like loose cables. I think it doesn't even want to come apart. It's just ridiculous. Well, somebody's glued that. That's helpful. That ain't going to come apart. Somebody's been at it with the glue and has glued the cord grip. So basically, that iron has had it. So that's got us back to having a connector that will connect into there, a length of cable. Let's find something we can put back on the end of it. What I've got here is just a bog standard 45 watt magnistat. So I'm going to start, just nip those connectors off there and put them out the way. And do a very basic test with this. And what that is I'm just going to get this iron. I'm going to check I think it's okay. Look, I've got a meter here. Put that across there and we're going to get 12 ohms. 12 ohms at 24 volts. That's going to draw 2 amps. 4 amps. 45 watts. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's put them across there. And what I want to do, before I go any further with this, is just make sure that when I turn this power on, this iron's getting hot. I'm not putting my fingers on that any longer. Right, so that is now working. Okay, so turn this off. What I'm going to do is I've got a wire here that was earth. I'm going to put that out the way to cool down. When I'm looking at this here, I've got these 3 wires here. I'm just going to ignore them. And I've got this brown and yellow. And in my opinion, I think the brown and yellow should go to the brown and yellow just to join together. I think in my mind, tidiness wise, that makes the most sense to me. So let's get a little bit of heat shrink. Pop these over here. And strip this off here. I'm just going to twist these under and over. The same with this yellow one here. So one's going one way, one's going the other. So there's actually a reasonable level of joint there without solder. I'm just going to run a little bit of solder down on both. Okay, let that cool down. Put them over there. Make some noise. Okay, so that's just put that bit of heat shrink on there. The next thing I'm going to do is get the end of this cable. And I want to find in here my yellow, my brown and my earth. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a guess that the yellow and the brown have actually come through and that the green is the earth. So let's put that onto beep test and we'll beep between there and there. And it yeah, okay, before we do a continuity check, let's plug the cable in. Right, so the green is the earth, and let's see if the brown and the yellow are the brown and the yellow. I'm going to do that by putting my meter onto AC, turn the transformer on, and go, no, they're not. Let's turn that back off. So the earth is the earth, and we know that now. So we need to find the two wires that are coming from the transformer. Put that back onto continuity. So what I'm going to just do is start off with the blue. Now I'm not worried about trying to test both ends because I'm going to see a reading on my meter. So that's 003. So the black wire is one of them. And there's the red wire. So when I look between those two there, I'm going to see 0.8, 0.08. So let's just lose them. I'm going to tidy this up in a minute. Put that back onto AC. Turn the supply on. And then we're going to look for, across these two, I want to see that we've got 26 volts. And we have. So let's put that out the way. And we'll come back to the iron that's sat and cooled down. I've got two ways of doing this. I can join this here, or I can put this cable into here. Seeing as he's actually made the effort to put a longer cable on the iron, I'm going to actually join that in. Okay, that's cool enough for me to handle. Take that out, take the tip out. With these, take the screws out the end. I have got a video on testing a magnistat iron that you can watch if you go and hunt for it. So let's put that on there like that. See, that's how they should come apart when you push them. See the difference between this one and that one that we were struggling with. Now the only thing I want to check before I go, yeah, I'm definitely going to put this cable in here, is does this cable go into here comfortably? It does. That's part one. Does this cable go through the cord, the restraint? It does. That's part two. So when we're looking at this, we can see that our wires are soldered on here, here and here. So we've got a ground wire that comes up to here, and the brown and blue are just on here. So what I'm going to do is, just as a starting point, is go nip, nip, nip on this and put this original piece of cable away and keep that for another job. So I now need, I need my wires to be about that long. So I'm just going to come into this and just restrip this. And then the wires we don't want, I'm going to cut off flush. We haven't got to worry about them because we know they're disconnected at the other end as well. Just move them out of the way. I don't want them to get in the way of anything. So these are soldered through here. Remove the pegs out of the way. You can see that they're actually soldered there. So let's sort out unsoldering this first, ready to put a new cable on it. So I'm just going to hopefully behave itself that just a bit of warmth is enough. Now, I'd like to clear those holes out. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put a little bit of heat on them and just try giving them a tap. Now, that heat already is having a negative effect on the plastic, so we'll be very, very, very careful. With doing anything with these. It has cleared them out. Let's leave that out of the way. I'm going to take my red and my black. I'll make the black fairly short, and then we'll make the red a bit longer, with them joining into there and there. Doesn't matter which way round you do them. It's AC, so there's no live, no neutral, and it is isolated from the mains with the transformers. There's not a live, there's not a neutral, which is kind of useful. Okay. Now, I have just realised that as I've done that, I've gone out of shot. Sorry. Let's solder these in. I'm going to try and put that into there, like so. So can I feed these in from the back as they were done originally? The black's gone in. I think the red might go in with a little bit of heat, so let's just put that in place. And I'm going to get the soldering iron, and I'm literally just going to quickly heat that, and it has gone in. I'm going to feed that into there like that, put this round the cord grip for no other reason than to just keep it out of my way. So when I look at this, I can see here and here I've got my two joints. I'm going to get my iron, and I'm literally just going to go splodge. No, come on, take it. 1, 2. Hopefully they're both soldered. They have. Now the only other joint I need to make, I need to just put this round here to here. We'll cut that off there. Need a bit more heat on this one because it's onto metal. Pull that off. We just solder onto there, and then going to just sort of tuck that back into place, and hopefully this will all feed back together as we assemble it. I'm just going to get this into its position first. Okay, let's pull this back into here. While we're doing that, just feed that in. And I'm hoping that new piece of cable isn't too thick and it doesn't cause me a headache. Honestly, I'm not convinced. It is really sort of pushing out as it's going into the bottom of the iron. I'm going to get some pliers and just sort of try and squeeze this down a little bit. Just try and take the humps out a little bit. See if it will just be a bit more compliant going together. Okay, that was better. That's better. Just making sure everything's going together in alignment. There's some screws in here. 2, 3. I need a tip, but not this one. Let me show you something. So these are the two types of tip. That's a magnistat, that's one for a temperature probe, and you can't use them backwards, because if you try and use one of them on one with a probe, it won't go on. If you put one of these in a magnistat, it hasn't got the magnet on the back, so it just won't get hot properly. And you can hear the switch turning on and off there. So let's put that back into place in there. And before we put this back together, I'm just going to turn the power onto this, and we'll do a final test to make sure that this iron is getting hot. Okay, in there, look, see the smoke coming off. There we go, that's coming up. So that's working, so I'm happy with that. So let's put the power pack back together. Mind my fingers. So we're just going to reassemble this now. Feed that down onto there. This slides over there, and then we can turn that over and put the screws back on. Push the bungs in. Put that back the right way around. Feed that into there and clip that in. And turn that on, lights on. I'll give that a moment and just make sure that it gets hot. As it should do. There we go. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you and giving you a method of repairing your Weller iron, and actually taking one of these power packs that they're useless because of the failure of the what's it, 1.8 kiloohms. So there is just a resistor in that. Just taking something that is a failure with Weller irons at the moment, with these older irons, in that these adjustable temperature irons are going wrong, and converting it to a magnistat. The magnistat irons, including this style, they're everywhere, and you can actually pick these irons up for not a lot of money without a power supply. So you've took something that is junk and took something up that's not a lot of money and made yourself a working soldering iron. Well, I hope that's been of interest to you. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and if you have, please subscribe and like, etc. Have a good day. Thank you.